Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be discussing on certain points which are necessary for a lawyer to earn more. It's always good to know yourself. Knowing yourself means knowing both your positive points as well as the negative points. Because in order to improve yourself, one has to work both on the positive points as well as on the negative points. Now suppose someone is good at the constitutional law and he is not that good on the criminal law. Then in order to improve himself, one should work both on the constitutional law to make it better, and simultaneously one should work on the criminal law so that he can have some command over the criminal law as well, because law is relatable. If someone leaves any part of the law, then it's hard for him to continue being a lawyer. Being a law practitioner, it is always suggested to remain humble, to stay on ground. If you want to fly high, you should always remain on the ground, because all the clients which you will be getting are the human beings and not the birds. Then it's always good to be generous towards your juniors, to respect your seniors, because until and unless you don't remain humble, you will not get those references which might enhance your earning, which might enhance your level of practice. The best weapon for a lawyer is his intellect, and one should always work on his knowledge. In the courtroom, your personality is the knowledge. The knowledge reflects your personality, and if you don't work on your knowledge, you stop growing. Your development stops, and it is always suggested and advisable that if you fail to work on your knowledge, you will fail personality wise. You will fail as a person. And being a lawyer, it is very important to work on the knowledge. In the very beginning of law semesters, all the lawyers have must learned that law is both science and art. Now, in science, we are allowed to experiment. In the same way, one should continue experimenting in law. Plus, what is now art? The art of law is how you represent law, how you apply law. So in order to grow, in order to develop yourself, one should keep working on knowledge. Now further, the client always expects a lawyer that he is knowledgeable. And good client who are aware about the law, who are aware about the case laws, they are the first persons who want to hear that is there any judgment upon his point or upon his averment. And yes, if you quote any of the Supreme Court judgments or the Honorable High Court judgments, your client gets more satisfied. And the same goes with the court. It's good to gain knowledge, and it's always better that if you can publish the knowledge which you have gained. Your clients always have a trust factor that whether you know the problems which they are suffering from, or whether you know the solutions of the disputes which they are suffering from. And if you can publish your knowledge, if you have that skill that you can publish your knowledge on the social platforms, on the social medias, on the blogging sites, then it's always good to attract good clients. Being a good lawyer is being a good listener. Listening to all the problems of your client is the key point by which you can argue good, you can make your draft well. Just remember three major points. There are three kinds of questions. The first is the open question, which you have to ask to your client so that he can tell you each and everything which he knows about the dispute or about the grievance. Let the client speak everything day by day, chronologically, whatever he knows about the dispute. The next thing is a semi-closed question. Ask your client certain questions which are semi-closed. Semi-closed questions mean that you allow your client to speak, but not that much as much you have allowed to speak in the open questions. And the last is the closed questions. In the closed questions, you just verify that whether you yourself has got all the things correct about the dispute of your client or not. The closed questions will just be answerable in yes or no, or in a very small or short briefs. So just remember that if you want to be a good lawyer, be a good listener. Allow your client to speak more and more, because your client is the only person who knows all the facts about the case. Thank you.